Hello, and good morning on this Thursday morning. Good morning. Wow, you guys see the moniker? You guys see what's on the thumbnail? Please hit that like, share, subscribe when you come in. I welcome everybody over to my channel. So, is black culture only hood culture? Now, before some of y'all answer that, I want you to really think about what I'm asking you. What am I asking you? Because this is one of the conversations that has been bothering me for a long time, right? People have been saying everywhere you look, every time you do something, every time something is ratchet, or every time something is out of order, I hear people saying it ain't about race anymore, it's about black culture. Then they'll point to a fight that went viral. Somebody stealing from a store, shooting up on the news, or somebody acting ignorant on social media. And before you know it, they've decided to call that black culture. I hear it so much that I finally stopped and asked myself, when did people decide that the worst behavior they could find from a handful of black people represented 44 million black people? Who made that rule? Because I don't see that same rule being applied to everybody. I've never heard anybody say meth is white people's culture. I've never heard anybody say opioid addiction is white people culture. I've never heard anybody say school shootings are white people culture, or that Wall Street fraud is white people culture. I've never heard anybody look at a fight in a trailer park and say, well, that's white culture. That's all white culture. People call those things crimes. They'll call them addiction. They'll call them poverty. They'll call them mental illness. Then they remind everybody, don't judge all white people because of the actions of a few white people. And I agree with that. Why does that same grace disappear for white people the minute the people in the video happen to be black? That's the question I want to answer today, because I honestly think people have started confusing black culture with hood culture. And those are two completely different things. Now, let me say this before somebody starts typing a comment and telling me I'm making excuses. I'm not saying hood culture doesn't exist, because it does exist. I'm not defending people who rob stores. I'm not defending people who shoot up neighborhoods. I'm not defending people who do drugs. I'm not defending people who destroy property or make their life harder for everybody else. I've never defended that behavior, and I'm not going to start today. But I'm not also ever going to let somebody tell me that a tiny percentage of black people gets to define, or going to define for me, black people, because that doesn't even make sense to me. Here's something else that has stood out to me. The media goes all the way out of its way to make sure you see white excellence, white people doing good, white people being doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, white college grads, white CEOs, white military heroes, white inventors, white families sitting across the dinner table. That's the image that's presented as white America. Y'all please hit the like, share, and subscribe button, please. Now let me ask another question. Does ratchet white culture exist? Of course it does. I've seen white people fighting in Walmart. I've seen white people addicted to meth. I've seen white gangs. I've seen white communities destroyed by opioids. I've seen white people commit billion-dollar fraud. I've seen white people living in poverty. Every race has people who make bad decisions. Every race has people who commit crime. Every race has neighborhoods with problems. Why doesn't that become white culture? Why they don't call that white culture? Why ain't white America expected to explain itself every time somebody white goes viral doing something stupid? Nobody sticks a camera in front of a white person and say, "Can you explain your culture? Why y'all ain't accountable for y'all's culture?" But let one black person go viral doing something ignorant, and somehow I'm supposed to answer for somebody I ain't never met and ain't never did and ain't finna do what they did? I see it every time I go. I go live. Somebody in the fucking chat, somebody who knows absolutely fucking nothing about me, calls me bum Keisha, chimping out. Somebody tells me to go get food stamps. Never been on food stamps. Somebody asks me how many baby daddies they got. Married twice. They don't know where I grew up, Chicago. They don't know where I went to school. 4 different colleges, 4 different degrees. They don't know whether I've ever received government assistance. They don't know whether I've had a criminal record. Don't have a criminal record. They don't know nothing about me, but they'll bring their ass in this fucking chat, in my chat, and tell me I'm all kinds of bum Keisha and get off welfare and get off fraud. All of y'all people out there took a stereotype they picked up from the fucking internet, because that's where you got it from, and pasted it right on top of my life. That's why I want to make this video. I think too many of y'all have started believing everything you fucking see online. The algorithm doesn't care about showing you ordinary black life, because ordinary black life don't make money and don't make you laugh. Black family eating dinner together don't go viral. Black father helping his daughter with homework don't go viral. Black nurses finishing a 12-hour shift don't make it go viral. The black engineer going to work don't go viral. Black teacher don't go to work. Or black teacher don't go viral buying school supplies for their student. But let somebody throw a fucking chair. Let somebody start a fight at a gas station. Let bum Keisha get ghetto in fucking Walmart. Or start a fight or act a fool in public, and millions of fucking people see it within a few hours. And that's black culture. That ain't no fucking black culture. After years of watching that over and over again, because I see it too, people honestly start to fucking believe they're looking at black culture when all they're really looking at is a handful of fucking people, a handful of fucking videos, and the algorithm decided would keep you strolling and keep you interested. That's the conversation I want to have today. I'm not here to argue about whether hood culture exists, because I know it exists. I want to talk about why so many damn people have convinced themselves that hood culture and black culture are the same fucking thing. Because until we stop confusing those two things, I don't think we're ever going to have an honest conversation about either way. You know what I think also? I think somewhere along the way, people stopped experiencing black people and started experiencing people through the internet. I really believe that's where this whole thing started years ago. If everybody wanted to know what black people were like, they had to actually know black people. They had to work with us, go to school with us, go to church with us, live next door to us, and spend enough time around us to form their own damn opinion. Today, people don't do that. Y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe, please and thank you. Here's my first video. And I ain't turn up the sound because you don't need no sound. So you need to see is the video. So you need to see is the video.
With the step-up rack in the back.
Don't take money from nobody you don't know, especially no $20 bills. You know how that shit go, my nigga.
But he made a
direct sale. A direct sale.
That's wild. Today, that's all I gotta do is open up TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, and somehow that's supposed to tell everybody this is how 40 million people or Black Americans are. The problem with this social media thing, they ain't trying to educate nobody. Every time I hear one of you goofies get in my chat talking about you need to stop being a baby mama and you need to get off of welfare, I don't even know what to say because that shit goofy as hell to me. The problem with this social media is not trying to educate you. Social media is trying to keep you watching. That's how these companies make money. The longer they keep you on that app, the more ads they can sell. So they don't show you ordinary life because ordinary life ain't exciting. Nobody's going to stop scrolling because a Black person came to work, hugged his kids, ate dinner, watched television before going to bed. That's what millions of Black families do every single fucking night. But that doesn't make anybody any money. Okay? What gets your attention is the fight in Walmart, in the Walmart parking lot. What gets your attention is somebody throwing a chair inside McDonald's. Okay? Then the algorithm says, oh, you watch that? Oh, okay, here's another video the same way. Before long, you watch 50 videos that all look the same way, and your brain starts to believe that's normal behavior instead of realizing you're looking at the same type of video over and over and over again, because that's what the computer decided would keep you on that app. I ain't never seen no thugs. I ain't never seen none of that. Fighting in no Walmart. I ain't never seen none of that. Okay? All of this. I ain't never seen that none in my life. Not at all. I think that's where people get fooled. They think they're watching Black life when they're really watching content that was chosen because it makes money. Those are two completely different things, though. If all I ever watched were videos of airplane crashes, I'd probably think airplanes fall out of the sky every fucking day. I ain't never seen people on TV twerking. I ain't never seen nobody twerking except when I went to TikTok. I don't have no daughter, no cousin, no nothing that be in my neighborhood doing that. Ain't heard no loud music, no nothing. Okay. Social media works because you have an algorithm. It don't show you what normal, it shows you what's shocking because that's more interesting. Okay. They think they watching Black life, Black culture. This ain't Black culture. This is hood culture within Black culture. But this ain't the total and that encompasses Black culture. Okay. Because I ain't never seen it. That's why I laugh sometimes when people tell me they know all about Black culture and you ain't Black. Even if you Black, you don't know all about culture because you have goofies on here who are Black on here talking about Black culture. That's all you see. Your algorithm send you there because you love to see it. Okay. My first question is always, where did you learn Black culture from? Because if you answer TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram, then you don't learn you didn't learn Black culture. You learned what an algorithm wanted you to believe would keep your attention. Those are not the same thing. That's also why I get frustrated when somebody sends me a fight video, a goofy video, explain your culture. explain your culture. You gotta hold your culture accountable. Hold my culture, my culture accountable for fucking what? 1% of black people? I ain't fucking explaining to you 1% of my black culture. You start explaining your fucking culture. I don't know these people. I've never met these people. Don't know none of these people. I got 5 daughters, and not one of my daughters have I found outside twerking on no car, in no Walmart, acting no food. Not one of my daughters. Okay, they don't represent black. These people who are on here don't represent black culture. They represent a subset that's in black culture, but not all black culture. They don't represent the people I grew up with. They don't represent the people I work with. They don't represent the black doctors, teachers, truck drivers, engineers. They represent themselves. Somehow people understand that when they're talking about somebody else. Specifically, white people understand that when they're talking about they meth addicted cousins, they fentanyl addicted cousins, they bribery cousins, their pedophilia cousins. They understand all of that it ain't all white culture. Okay. One person, 20 people or 30 people don't suddenly become 44 million fucking people. So 44 fucking million people ain't that small portion of people who doing what they doing. I don't think that's an accident, okay? I think that what happens when you spend years looking at a community through a phone instead of real life, looking at them through the desk computer, eventually stop seeing people and you start seeing stereotype. Because every goddamn person that gets on here in my chat, white, whatever, get on here talking about, hey, you on food stamps. Fuck you mean? Every one of y'all believe a stereotype. Hood culture is a subculture of black culture. It's not all of black culture. It may be a small portion of black culture. It ain't all of black culture. Okay? So once that's all you see is stereotypes, every new video becomes proof of what you already believe instead of just another individual making good or bad decisions. That's why I say the conversation ain't really about black culture. The conversation is about how easily y'all manipulated, how easily it has become to replace reality with whatever this algorithm keeps putting in front of you. Because I noticed it the other day when I was scrolling on TikTok. The same kind of videos kept coming over and over. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I don't want to see all this shit. Why the hell am I watching this shit? Because the fucking algorithm give you that shit and you continually watch it. So you believe that. The problem ain't just that people confuse. The problem ain't just that people confuse hood culture with black culture. The problem is they don't even use the same standard for everybody. That's the part that bothers me the most, because once you noticed it, you can't unsee it. Think about how white people are presented in this country. If you turn on a television show, watch a commercial, or look at the evening news, you constantly showing white excellence. White is this, white is better that, white does this. All white excellence. You see white doctors, white lawyers, white business owners, white college students, white military heroes, white families living in nice neighborhood, and white kids graduating. Nobody has a problem showing those images because that's considered normal. That's the image America has accepted as white culture. Now, here's my question. Where's the ratchet white culture? Where's the white ratchet culture? Where is it at? If y'all got it, where is it? It may be more than what we got. Where is it? Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. Don't tell me it don't exist, because I've seen it. I've seen white people fighting in Walmart. I've seen white people strung out on meth. I've seen white gangs. I've seen white communities devastated by opioid addiction. I've seen white people commit billion-dollar crime, billion-dollar fraud that destroyed people's retirement account. I've seen white people living in poverty. I've seen white people committing fraud, welfare fraud. I've seen white people doing all kinds of things that nobody would want represented in their community. So why the fuck ain't any of that become white culture? Why it ain't named white culture? Why don't somebody pull up a video of a meth lab and say, see, that's white culture right there? Why doesn't somebody point to Wall Street fraud, billion-dollar fraud, and say, that's just how white people are? White people just like that. Why don't somebody point to the opioid crisis and fentanyl crisis and decide that's the white culture? The answer is simple. People separate white people from the behavior. They understand those are individuals making those bad decisions. They understand every community has people who struggle, people who commit crime, and people who make terrible choices. They don't take those examples and make them represent a whole entire fucking race. Then somehow black people lose the same grades. Y'all see bum Keisha twerking in the Walmart parking lot, and all of us fucking women twerk in the Walmart parking lot. All y'all see Carmelo Anthony stab somebody at a fucking track meet, and all of us is fucking murderers and criminals and whatever. All of us is. One person do something, we all do it. One fight becomes black culture. One rapper, one neighborhood, one viral video. I don't understand why the rules don't apply to white people. If I see a motherfucker doing crack, all y'all do crack. I see all y'all touching kids, one of y'all touching kids. I see all y'all touching kids. Here's another thing people don't talk about enough. Every time somebody wants to prove something negative about black people, they go looking for the worst example they can find. They don't go looking for the millions of black people who got up this morning, went to work, paid the bills, picked up the kids, cooked dinner, did all that, and finna do it all over again. Those people don't make the news because there's nothing sensational about being responsible. The news ain't built around normal people. TikTok ain't built around normal people. Social media ain't built around us normal people. The internet rewards this outrage, this shocking shit. It rewards conflict. It rewards dysfunction. That's what gets news and shares. That's what gets millions of views. Then people sit back and convince themselves that's what black life look like. All y'all black people the same way. Remember that goofy Mexican girl who got on there? All y'all steal. Who the fuck you talking about? All of us steal. I ain't never stolen my life. What you mean? I hear people say black culture is violent. Based on what? The handful of videos that showed up in your feed for the week? If that's the standard, then every race in America has a violent culture, because I can find videos of every race committing crime. I can find videos of every race fighting in public. I can find videos of every race stealing, using drugs, or acting ignorant. The difference is nobody asked the other races to hold our race accountable. Nobody asked them to defend it. I ain't over there asking you white folks to defend meth heads. Nobody's asking y'all to defend jack shit. Don't come the fuck over here talking about I gotta hold my people, 1% of my people accountable. Black people get that fucking same assignment every fucking day. Hold your people accountable. Y'all don't hold nobody accountable. Y'all don't fucking hold nobody accountable. I also hear people say black people don't want to take accountability for nothing. What the fuck are you talking about? I make XYZ a year, over 100K a year. I'm not defending bum Keisha in no fucking parking lot, twerking on a fucking car. I'm not defending Carmelo Anthony stabbing somebody in the chest. I'm not defending that. I didn't do that. He did that. Fuck you mean accountable? I find that interesting because I don't know anybody who defends people shooting up neighborhoods, stabbing people in the chest, or robbing innocent people. I certainly don't. If somebody commits a crime, they ought to be arrested. If somebody hurts innocent people, they ought to be held accountable. I don't care what color they are. What I refuse to do is let somebody take that criminal and make him the spokesperson for 44 million fucking black Americans. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. That's where the fuck I draw the line. Y'all hit the like and share button, please and thank you. Don't get in my comment section talking about me cussing. Go somewhere else if you don't like to hear that. The other thing that gets overlooked is the actual numbers. The overwhelming majority of Black Americans have never committed a violent crime. Less than 1% of Black people have committed crimes. Less than 1%. The overwhelming majority go to work, raise family, pay taxes, live decent lives. Yet somehow that majority is invisible because the internet has convinced people that fucking ratchet people is the exception or the rule. That's fucking backwards. That exception is supposed to stay the exception. Instead, we created a whole society where exception becomes a stereotype. And then people wonder why Black Americans get frustrated with y'all. We get on the internet, we hear this kind of bullshit. I'm not frustrated because people criticize crime. Crime deserves criticism. I'm frustrated because people keep calling crime Black culture. I'm frustrated because people keep calling regular, ordinary Black women ratchet and ghetto when that's a small percentage of us. Those are not the same thing. And until people stop pretending like they are, I don't think this conversation is ever going to be honest with y'all. Once you separate Black culture from hood culture, the next question becomes, why are people so determined to keep putting hood culture and Black culture together? I don't think it's because people have spent a lot of time studying Black culture. I think it's because stereotypes are easy. Stereotypes don't require any fucking work. You don't have to think about it. If all I see is ratchet bum quiches on the internet, that's what I think all Black women are. Once somebody's decided what they believe Black people are, every new video becomes proof they were right all along. Think about how many times you heard somebody say, see, I told you. They see one fight, one robbery, one viral video, and suddenly they got all the evidence they need. They don't go looking for anything that contradicts what they already believe because they're satisfied with the first thing that they run across. Now compare that to how people think about themselves. Most people don't want to be judged by the worst person who looks like them. If a white man commits a horrible crime, white people don't wake up in the morning wondering if they're going to have to explain his behavior. If somebody embezzles millions of dollars, nobody asks white people and a white accountant to defend fraud. If somebody starts cooking meth in a fucking trailer, nobody expects white America to hold a press conference explaining trailer park trash. People naturally understand that individuals make individual choices. So why does that understanding disappear when the conversation turns to Black people? I honestly think a lot of it has to do with repetition. If you hear the same thing long enough, eventually it starts sounding like common sense. If all you hear about Black neighborhoods is crime, eventually you assume crime is normal in every Black neighborhood. I live in a Black neighborhood all the time I've ever lived in a Black neighborhood. And I ain't never seen no crime in my neighborhood. I ain't never heard of nobody breaking into no house. I ain't never seen no trash on the ground. I ain't never seen no fights in the neighborhood. I ain't never heard no loud music in my neighborhood. If all you hear about Black fathers is that they aren't around, eventually you stop looking at the millions you are. If all you hear about Black people is violence, eventually you stop noticing the people who are living quiet, productive lives because they don't fit the picture that's already in your fucking head. Less than 1% of Black people have a criminal record. Less than 1% of Black people have a criminal record, which tells me that 99% of us are doing what we are supposed to be doing. We ain't gonna defend that 1 fucking percent, seeing as how white people don't take accountability for their fucking percentage. Less than 1% of Black people have a police record, criminal record, which tells me that 99% of us do what the fuck we supposed to be doing. Affirmation is how these stereotypes survive. Bad stereotypes survive, not because they're true, but because they're repeated. Here's another thing I don't think people realize. Social media has made people feel like they know communities they've never actually even experienced. I ain't never been around no Asian people except in the nail shop. except in the nail shop. So if I went online and I found out that they all cook in the street, they feet dirty, and they eat shitty food, I would think that's all it is to them people. But I've experienced those people in different settings, so I know they're not like that. Somebody can watch videos about Chicago every day and think they understand Black America. Oh no, Chicago is a hellhole. That's all they do is shoot and kill and blah, blah, blah. I've been to Chicago many times, and I ain't never ran into nobody snatching my purse, cussing people out, throwing shit in McDonald's, fighting over fucking parking space. I ain't never had that happen. Somebody watch a few videos, creators who only post fight videos and honestly believe that's what Black neighborhoods look like every fucking weekend. Then they argue with somebody who's actually lived in Black communities. They ain't never argued with nobody who lived in Black communities their entire life. That don't even make sense. You can't know a people through a highlight reel of their worst moments, people's moments. 1%, less than 1% of Black people have criminal records. So don't come in my fucking comment section asking me about food stamps. Let me show another video.
Hello, everyone. We are Black Men in White Coats at Morehouse School of Medicine, and I want to introduce you to the future of medicine.
Hi, my name is Tyron Ballard. I'm a freshman biology major on the pre-medical track with a public health science minor from Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm going to be a future cardiac surgeon.
Hi, my name is Jason Faulkner. I'm a senior biology major with a minor in sociology from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I am a future pediatric anesthesiologist.
Hi, what's going on? My name is Zahir Niamet, a senior biology major from Brooklyn, New York, and I will be a future anesthesiologist.
My name is Landon Scott. I am a junior biology major, public health, public policy double minor from Dallas, Texas, and I will be a future general surgeon.
My name is Andrew Pope. I'm a sophomore biology major from Mobile, Alabama, and I'm a future cardiothoracic surgeon.
My name is Edward Horn. I'm a junior biology major from Houston, Texas, and I'm a future trauma surgeon.
My name is Christian Odons. I am a junior biology and psychology major, neuroscience minor from Fairfield, Alabama, and I am a future neurologist.
My name is Corey Bowdy Jr. I'm a sophomore biology major, public health minor from Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm a future physician scientist.
Hello, my name is Aimide Adami. I'm a freshman biology major from San Antonio, Texas.
Keep going.
Understand something. The post commander has spent years trying to crack that exact problem. How do you keep men sharp on a long march when their bodies are shutting down? He had resources, he had rank, and he had time.
Other race. Spoiler alert, we don't. That race adjustment delayed access to care and kidney transplants for tens of thousands of Black patients across the United States. It took Black medical students, residents, and doctors to recognize that problem and fix it. Or we can talk about spirometry, a test that measures how much air we can breathe out in one breath. Lung function tests for a long time assumed that Black and Asian patients had lower lung function than any other race. It was based on racist 19th century assumptions, not biology. And that's not medicine. That's systemic racism that's built into our tools that we use today. When it comes to clinical trials, Black people, women, and other minoritized groups are still less likely to be included. That means many of the drugs that we take and the treatments that we trust are tested only on white, able-bodied males, despite there being research that shows, for example, that heart attacks present differently in women than men.
Reason. It shows Major General Lorna M. Mallock, the first Black woman in Marine Corps history to reach the rank of general officer, sitting in her service uniform with over 36 years of dedication behind her. Captured at the high-level briefing earlier this week with the President, the Secretary of Defense, and hundreds of generals and senior leaders, her steady and composed presence stands out. A trailblazer who has earned every medal, credential, and command. She sits stoic and dignified, embodying the weight of history and the reality of being twice as good, twice as steady, and still having to hold firm in silence. Yet her face tells the story of resilience, of carrying the burden with grace, and of a warrior who refuses to let hate or hardship define how high she holds her head. This is not just a Marine seated at attention. It is the living proof of endurance, discipline, and dignity that inspires generations too.
Right. Let's go.
What's up, twin? Why you sitting still? Make that cat so I know it's real. Don't panic. You don't want me to hear my name. Like JT coming, JT coming, JT coming.
Half the dang state pulled up this year. They had all the classics out there looking clean. Grab some food to hold you until the rodeo. Get your dance on, or just chill and soak in all the action. Either way it goes, it's none but love out there. I heard they set a record for attendance at the rodeo this year. I believe it, because they had the lines backed up way to Maple Street. Yeah, it was a little muddy, but that ain't stopping nothing, you hear me? Real ones wasn't worried about that. Now them Shein boot wearing folks probably was struggling a little bit, but we gonna leave that alone. Well, I messed up and forgot we was deep in the sticks, and when I looked down at my phone to call somebody, that mug said, "Mwah, no."
Hold on. Anyway, let y'all let that play. So, imagine if somebody judged your entire family based on one cousin everybody tries to avoid at their reunion. Every family has that cousin. Okay? Every family has somebody who keeps making bad decisions.
Hello, everyone. We are Black Men in White Coats at Morehouse School of Medicine, and I want to introduce you to the future of medicine.
So that was the Black Excellence video. Let me finish. That's exactly what's happening right here. Okay, that's exactly what's happening right here. People are judging an entire race by the loudest people they can find. The saddest part is that some black people have started believing that bullshit too. I've heard black people say, that's just how we are. No, it's not. That's how some people are. There's a difference. I refuse to let the internet define my culture. I refuse to let record companies define my culture. Television, gas station fights at gas stations. Black culture existed long before social media. It still be here long after the next viral video is forgotten. That's why I think this conversation matters. Because if you convince people that dysfunction is the culture, then they stop looking for the excellence. They stop looking for ordinary people. They stop looking for families doing the right thing. They stop looking for successful people because they've already convinced themselves it doesn't exist. The truth is, excellence doesn't usually go viral. Responsibility don't go viral either. Getting up every morning, paying your bills, raising your kids, staying out of trouble, and living an honest life don't make the headline. But that's how most people live. Not just most black people, most people, period. So maybe the real problem ain't black culture. Maybe the real problem is that we built a media environment that rewards the worst behavior it can find, then convincing us that the worst behavior is normal. And after watching that for years and years, people don't realize they stopped looking at reality and started looking at a business model. Because that's what it is. Outrage is profitable. Division is profitable. Stereotypes are profitable. And if those things make money, somebody will always make sure you keep seeing them. That's why I don't blame people for asking the question. I blame the people who keep giving them the wrong answer. Now, here's the part that really bothered me. The people who are always telling black people to talk about accountability, to take accountability. Okay. Hold on. Let me change this video. Let me run this.
First time ever attending a...
Okay. Let me run this video. Okay. The people who are always telling black people they have to take accountability almost never stop and ask themselves whether they're willing to take accountability for believing something that simply ain't true. Are you willing to take accountability for the shit I know here in America? Are you willing to do that? If you spend enough time online, it's easy to start believing every stereotype you see because the internet keeps feeding you the same images over and over and over again. After a while, people stop assuming whether what they're seeing is representative. They just assume that it is. I see that every time I go or every time I get on the internet. Before I even had a chance to introduce myself, in my chat, somebody has already decided who I am. I just saw somebody in the chat just a minute ago talking about, oh, she's a racist. Let's report her as a racist, a mass racist. Let's report her as a mass racist. What the hell have I said that was racist in any way, shape, or form? This is what I'd like to know. They'll call me Bum Keisha, decide I get food stamp, tell me how many baby daddies I got. What's interesting about that is those people don't know a single damn thing about me from the chat. You don't know nothing about me unless I tell you. You don't know where I went to school. You don't know how many degrees I have. I have 4. You don't know where I work. They don't know how much money I make for a living. They don't know whether I've ever received government assistance or whether I've ever had a criminal record, but they'll bring their ass in my chat and call me Bum Keisha and call me ghetto and ratchet and don't know nothing about me. The only thing they know is that I'm a black woman sitting in a chair in front of a camera. And somehow that's enough for them to create a whole entire story about what I am and who I am. That's not reality. You need to think that's not reality. Because you have a whole story about me built into your brain. That's what happens when people start believing stereotypes more than they actually believe the people that they see in me. The welfare stereotype is a perfect example. People love bringing up food stamps, Section 8, cash assistance, or any other government program as if those things automatically describe black people or women like me. The facts don't support that. Black people use 40% of the program Section 8. Section 8, out of the 100% of Section 8 people who get Section 8, black people take 40%, use 40%. White people have the highest rates of getting food stamps, cash assistance, WIC, and medical card. White people, all of that's them. All of them have the highest statistics in using all of those things. Don't give me none of the per capita bullshit neither. Okay? Yet nobody turns around and calls welfare white culture. Welfare queen. All y'all white people are the ones who want handouts. Y'all get the most food stamp. Y'all get the most WIC. Y'all get the most medical insurance. Y'all the one who get the most cash assistance. Y'all the real welfare people. But you'll get in my comment section talking about I'm the welfare person, don't know nothing about it, but I'm the welfare person because I'm black. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Please and thank you. Yet nobody says poverty defines white America. People understand that sometimes families fall on hard time, people lose jobs or something, somebody gets sick and need help. Somehow that same understanding disappears when the person receiving assistance is black. That's what I mean when I talk about different standards. I don't want special treatment, never did. I don't want excuses made for anybody who breaks the law. If somebody commits a crime, they should be arrested. If somebody hurts innocent people, they should be punished. I've never argued against that at all. But don't ask me to defend criminals simply because we share the same skin color. I don't know those people. I don't agree with what they did. I don't owe anybody an explanation for their choices. I hold me accountable. All of those people need to hold themselves accountable. Just like the white group of people, the white race don't have to explain their people, I don't have to explain my people. I don't have to hold them accountable for nothing. That's them. Less than 1% of black people have criminal records. Less than 1%. I ain't explaining jack shit about their 1%. Just like white people don't explain they 1%, they percentage of people who commit crime, we ain't explaining no 1% to do no crime. You can look up my statistic. You can look it up. You can Google it, Chat GPT. You can do it all you want to. It'll be less than 1% of black people in this country commit crimes, violent crimes. Less than 1%. That means 99% of us do what the fuck we supposed to do. The overwhelming majority of black Americans are not committing crime. They're doing exactly what Americans do, white Americans do every day. This is black excellence that I'm showing you. This is a whole parade of black doctors. Okay. They serving in the military, teaching school, on camera, on screen right here is a whole graduation full of black doctors. Driving trucks, working in hospitals, trying to build a better life for themselves. Okay. This is black family. This is black relationships. This is black love. That is the life most black people lead right there. Right there. But it rarely shows up in anybody's social media feed because ordinary people don't generate millions of views. No, it can't. Y'all ain't got no daddy. I don't know nothing about that. I was raised in the house with my daddy, grandparents, whole nine. I don't know what you're talking about. And one thing I always hear, y'all don't know y'all daddy. Just because people don't live with their daddy don't mean they don't know their daddy. Y'all need to know the difference. Y'all need to figure out the difference. This picture right here is a room full of doctors and lawyers graduating from Yale University. A room full of black doctors and lawyers graduating from Yale University. And this is church. Young man who got the Holy Ghost in church. Instead, the internet keeps showing the same handful of videos until people honestly believe those videos represent an entire race of people. That's where I think it's all wrong. We've allowed the exception to become the stereotype, and then we've turned around and expected millions of innocent people to answer for behavior they've never defended and never participated in. I don't think that's accountability. I think that's collective blame. And if collective blame is wrong for every other race in America, then it should be wrong when it's applied to black people too. That's all I'm saying. If you ain't going to call meth, bribery, stealing, pedophilia, you ain't going to blame white folks for that, then you better not be blaming black folks for shit either. That's the same standard. We don't ask you to be accountable for your pedos. We don't ask you to be accountable for your rapists or your school shooters. We don't hold all of y'all accountable for that. You ain't finna hold all of us accountable for that wretched 1% behavior that people do in our subculture. Hood culture is subculture. That's not the main culture. All of these pictures, these videotapes I'm showing you is regular black American culture. The same benefit of the doubt that's extended to everybody else, that's what I expect. I don't think that's asking too much. I think that's asking people to be consistent. I think the biggest problem with this whole conversation is that people don't realize what happens when they keep confusing hood culture with black culture. It don't just create a bad stereotype. It changes the way people look at every black person they meet. Ain't never met no black people. People from foreign country ain't never met no black people and come over here and think black culture is this, that, and the third. Ain't never met black culture, ain't never even seen black people, and they think wild shit about black folks. They think they know something that they done seen on the internet. Oh, I done seen 25 videos of y'all fighting in Walmart. All y'all black women fight in Walmart. I can go and live, and before I even said 10 words, I can go live, I'm sorry, and before I say 10 words, somebody already decided that I need to go get my food stamps renewed. Okay. How many baby daddies I got? Where I went to school? Where did I work? I went to all girls school all my life. All Catholic school all my life, where I went to school with all girls until I graduated from college. Okay. You don't know all black people. Let me play this video from this Haitian lady.
America, I came to talk to my Black Americans on TikTok. Now, I know that you guys are very relevant. Anybody on TikTok, including myself, I am very relevant, and so are you. But here's the thing. You have a reach, right? You have a reach that your content and what you say reach other people. So I came to talk to you folks today. What's your problem with migrants? The way that I see you guys treating the Haitians. What's your problem? You realize that you treat your slave masters that have enslaved you for centuries better than you're now treating the Haitians. Why are you so mad at them? Because they came here and they work hard to achieve the things that they have while you lazy fucks sat on the farewell welfare system because your grandmother, mama, and everybody else was brought up on it. The people, just want to know. Because the majority of you that I see singing praises to that orange fuck, that's what you're on. Living in the projects.
Notice what she keeps saying. Living in the projects. Most of y'all, less than 1% of us do violent crime. Less than 1%. Less than 1%. Not 1%, less than 1%. We have people coming over here from foreign countries who think y'all all do the same thing. Y'all all get food stamps. Y'all all lazy. Y'all all on Section 8. These are people who come up from different countries. This is the understanding.
Oh, there was.
Then we gotta listen to
you know why?
American.
Dumb shit.
Then we gotta listen to an American who also has been in the algorithm. Don't know everybody. I'm pretty sure he's about the same age as me. This is Jeff Metcalf. I'm pretty sure he's about the same age as me. And if I haven't seen twerking in the streets, shooting in the streets, goofing off at Walmart, acting a fool everywhere, if I ain't seen it, I damn sure know he ain't seen it. And the only way he would have seen it was on the internet. But I don't believe the shit on the internet, but apparently he believes the shit on the internet. Let's listen to what he actually thinks about black people.
If you answer the question, I can't send a black man to jail because he's black, you're not getting on the jury. You're so unintelligent, you can't even fill out a form correctly. You don't even know who your daddy is because 78% of you don't have your father in the home anymore.
We don't even know who our daddy is. Remember I told you earlier, just because your daddy don't live with you don't mean you don't know it. But y'all under the impression, some white Americans are under the impression that we don't know who our daddy is. 78% of y'all don't know who your daddy is. The only way you would get that impression is if you got it off the internet. Just because you don't live with your daddy don't mean you don't know who he is.
You got baby mamas running around with 8 kids so they can get EBT cards to feed you all. You think I'm being racist? No, I'm being real. Because they ain't only black people. White people do the same. I'll call them out just as hard as I'll call you out. Anybody who doesn't work, who wants free government handouts, who wants to live in a socialistic society, move to Russia. And normally, I don't normally attack people like this, but I have been cooped up and caged up in this anger. And this is something I'm trying to work on. I need to develop it and funnel it into a more constructive way. But tonight is the one time I'm going to allow myself, it's okay. Tonight I'm going to allow myself to say what I really want to say.
So where did you get that the bulk of people who are on food stamps and who collect welfare are black? Those people are white. The people who do that are white. That's the bulk of the people who get food stamps and welfare and WIC and get cash assistance. Food stamps, the bulk of people who get food stamps are white people. Yet you can get people on here, black and white, talking about, oh, y'all get food stamps. Y'all collect food. No, white people collect food stamps at a higher rate than black people. Way higher rate than black people. That's what stereotypes do. They convince people they know you before they even met you. He don't know me. What the fuck does he mean? I'm unintelligent. You don't know anything about me. I have 4 degrees. What do you have? What do you have? We said we're in similar age brackets. Why is it that I have what I have, but you don't have it? I don't know what you got, but you made an assumption about me, but I didn't make no assumption about you because you have pedos in your race. You have people who smoke meth, fentanyl. I didn't make the assumption that you were a fentanyl user or drug abuser, a meth head, a pedo. I didn't make that assumption about you. Why the hell would you make that assumption about me? Because I'm black. The sad part is that the overwhelming majority of black Americans don't even live the life people are accusing us of. Most black people get up every morning, go to work, raise kids. Less than 1% of us have a violent criminal record. Most people ain't never been to jail. Most black people have never robbed anybody, shot anybody, danced on the top of the police car, regular car, fought people in Walmart, acted a fool in Walmart. Yet somehow, the majority keeps getting judged by a thin minority of people because that's the only part the internet keeps showing people. I've never had a problem saying criminals should be held accountable, ever. If somebody commits a crime, arrest them. If somebody hurts innocent people, prosecute them. I don't give a damn what color they are. What I refuse to do is pretend that criminal behavior suddenly becomes my black culture just because the person committing the crime happens to be black. That's a standard I don't see applied to everybody. If I don't call your race pedos, don't come over here talking about we need to be accountable for drug dealers. Shut your ass up. When white people struggle with opioid addiction, nobody says white culture is opioid people. When somebody gets arrested for cooking meth, nobody says white people is meth culture. When a billionaire commits fraud like Elon Musk, nobody says greed is white people culture. People separate the behavior from culture because they understand one person doesn't represent millions of people. Don't come over here talking about I'm accountable for my people. I ain't accountable for shit. The same standard that you give and grace you give to white people, you finna give that fucking grace to us black people. Don't come on here talking about we got to be accountable for our fucking people. That's less than 1% of the people in this country. I don't speak for 1% of the country. We don't want no special treatment. I don't want excuses made for criminal. I would just want fairness that extends to everybody across the board. Judge criminals as criminals. Judge responsible people as responsible people. Stop taking the worst examples of us you can find and pretend like they represent our whole race. That's not true at all. Unite the white. Do whatever you want to do. Okay? I also think people need to ask themselves who benefits from this narrative, because it certainly ain't ordinary black people. The media benefits because outrage gets ratings. Social media benefits outrage. People getting outraged because they get angry enough and then they come back the same thing next day. That's all you're going to see in your algorithm. It's people who commit crime, who commit bad things, who do bad things. Everybody profits from keeping these stereotypes about black people alive, except the millions of black people who have to carry them around every day. That's why I want this video to go out to all the people. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm not trying to convince anybody that hood culture doesn't exist, because it does. Hood culture is within black culture. Like hood culture may be 10% of black culture. Black culture is the rest of that 90%. I don't know what the percentage is, but I do know the bulk of us, less than 1% of us have a criminal record. So therefore, we're not out shooting, killing, robbing, stealing, raping. I'm not asking people to stop pretending hood culture is the definition of black culture. Those are two completely different things. Please get that through your head. One is a subculture that exists in certain environments. The other is the history, traditions, values, family, achievements, faith, everyday lives of millions of Americans. If people can understand that difference when they're talking about every other race, about the white race, then I don't think it's asking too much for them to understand it when they're talking about mine. Hey, Ty. You know, after thinking about this for a long time, I really believe we've been having the wrong conversation. The conversation shouldn't be whether hood culture exists. I don't think anybody seriously believes it doesn't. Crime exists, poverty exists, dysfunction exists. Every community in America has people making bad decisions. That's not the debate. The debate is whether those people get to represent everybody else. No, hood culture does not represent us. For some reason, when it comes to black people, the answer is almost always yes. Yeah, this handful of people represent all of y'all. Our neighborhoods become black America. One fight becomes black culture. One rapper, Cardi B, is all black women. No. And I'm not defending Cardi B. Don't ever ask me to defend no female who acting a fool in public. Don't ever ask me to defend no female that's in public. I won't do it. Ain't got nothing to say about it. One viral video becomes black culture if you let it. I don't know when we started this thinking this way, but somewhere along the line it became normal, and I don't think it should be normal. What makes it even more frustrating is that I watch people give other groups the benefit of the doubt. They understand that addiction ain't white culture. They understand that fraud ain't white culture. They understand that gangs aren't white culture. They understand that one criminal doesn't speak for an entire race. Somehow all the common sense disappears out of their fucking head when the conversation turns to black people. I'm not asking anybody to ignore problems in the black community. That wouldn't make any sense because you can't solve problems that you refuse to acknowledge. If crime is happening, deal with it. If schools are failing, fix them. If neighborhoods need investment, invest in them. If young people need better opportunities, create those opportunities. Those are real conversations worth having. What I'm asking is something much simpler than that. Use the same standard for everybody. If you believe one white person doesn't represent all white people, then one black person don't represent all black people. If you believe every white family shouldn't have to apologize for a criminal they've never met, then don't ask me to apologize for somebody I never met. That's not accountability. That's collective blame. And collective blame has never been a fair way to judge anybody. I also hope people start questioning whether their opinions are. I hope people start questioning where their opinions are coming from. If everything you know about black culture and black people is from social media and TikTok and Facebook, cable news, or comment section, then maybe it's not worth asking yourself whether you've been shown the full picture. Or maybe it is worth it. Those platforms are businesses. They make money by keeping you engaged. They don't make money by showing ordinary people living ordinary lives. They make money by showing conflict, fights, outrage, chaos, because that's what keeps people watching. Black culture is much bigger than the internet. It's bigger than a fight in a fucking parking lot. It's bigger than a rapper. It's bigger than Cardi B. It's bigger than Jay-Z. It's bigger than a viral video. Black culture is millions of people living millions of different lives. Some are rich, some are poor. Some live in cities, some live in small towns. They have businesses, blue-collar jobs, doctors, lawyers, teachers, Indian chiefs, military, raising kids, single family. Some are taking care of aging parents. That's what a real culture looks like. It ain't one neighborhood, one lifestyle, one chick dancing on a car, one person pulling a gun out in the store, one stereotype. That's not all of our black culture. So the next time somebody says black culture is the problem, y'all black culture is the problem, I hope you stop and ask yourselves that question. Am I talking about black culture, or am I talking about a small group of people whose behavior I keep seeing across the internet because the algorithm knows I'll stop and watch? Because those are two completely different things. If this conversation accomplished anything, I hope it at least gets people to stop using those two terms as if they mean the same thing. Hood culture is not black culture. Just like every destructive subculture in America is not the culture of the entire race. I think if people can start there, they might finally stop arguing over stereotypes and start having honest conversations about the real issue. Every person that you get on a panel, a lot of y'all get on panels, debate, y'all do all kinds of things with people on this internet. And yet you meet those people, talk to those people, and you still think more than 1% of people commit crime. Black people commit crime. That just means you goofy. You meet people, black people, all the time that you work with, go to school with, see in the gas station, see in the store. They don't be acting the fool. You see people like that all the time. Where the hell did you get the idea that all black people act like that? I'm not defending that behavior. I'm never going to defend that behavior. Okay? Just know the difference between hood culture and black culture. Black culture is a very rich culture. We do everything white people do. We do everything white people do. Less than 1% of us have violent criminal records. Less than 1%. So you all hit the like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate that. Let me read the chat. We got goofies in the chat. Let's see if anybody in the chat is talking about, oh, is she ratchet? Is she ghetto? Let's listen. Let's see. Or did anybody listen to what I said? Let's try to forget about our shut up. That's white trash. Anytime you take the father out of the equation, you get crime and drugs. That don't even make sense. Do you kiss anyone? Yes, very much so. Mind your business. That's something Jack Maggie has brought the trailer trash to the forefront. Shut up. It's your music culture that goofies being ghetto fabulous. Our music and our culture. I just said that's not all of us. She kisses her mouth. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me chimping out. Don't worry about that. Black on black crime is a problem. Black on black crime. Did you listen to anything I said? And that's the beauty of the internet. So all you got to do is go on the internet and do your own research and find out what the statistics are. Less than 1% of black people commit violent crime, do any kind of crime, has any kind of criminal record. 99% of us don't have a criminal record. So stop it. 13%. No, it's not 13%, goofy. 13% is all of us. Not all 13%. Only 1% of black people commit violent crime or have a criminal record. That is not the 50%. That makes no sense. Please do your research. Okay. Every rap song glorifies it. Stop lying to yourself. It doesn't matter whether it glorifies it or not. You can glorify all you want to. That doesn't mean it's the truth. That's gold. That's goofy. She threw Keisha under the bus. I don't know who Keisha is. Don't care. Half of y'all are dumb. Half of y'all are dumb. I got all of that. And that's another thing. My numbers ain't off. You need to go and figure out your numbers. Figure out your numbers, okay? I did the research. I look at it, and you don't have to read. You don't have to even listen to my number. So all you got to do is do your own fucking numbers. Okay? Yes. No, my math don't need a bunch of variables. Why do black people vote for the slave masters? I don't know. Is there slave masters on the ballot? I don't know. Some of us have escaped the hood, and we see you. You're horrible. That makes sense. Only a goofy coon would say that. Okay. I don't see individuals. I see groups. Good for you. I'm glad for that. Okay. I live where a whole city of meth heads fill all the county jails. I'm happy for you there. Happy for you there. People experience accountability doesn't exist with the Negroids. Nope, it don't exist with the Caucasoids either. So that's just dumb, Texas people. Just dumb. These people in these comments, of course they're not listening. They already have their own agenda. Who cares what they listen? It's what I already put out. I already know. Hey, Ty, good to see you, Andy. Hey. Talk. Blaming black folks for the shitty life that they got. I don't understand it. Guaranteed dumbass that say white lives matter. White lives matter, black lives matter, Asian lives matter, Italian lives matter, Mexican lives matter, everybody lives matter. Okay? Type of music, fool. Type of music. I get it. A movie. Do you know New Jack City Swing is you do? That's crazy. That's crazy. 6%. That's crazy. High definitely, you just kind of proved the whole point. Yeah, that makes sense. You have to look at the per capita stats. No, I don't want to hear per capita stats. Goofy. Over 80% of social services are used by minorities. No, that's not true. Goofy. Go look at the stats. I can't help it. I can't read the chat. I can't read it because some of y'all low IQ. You don't get it. You just come in here and spout talking points. If you come in and spout talking points and you don't have facts to back up anything, oh, hey you, how you doing? No, the 1% claim is actually fact. Less than 1% of us have violent criminal records or criminal records, period. Go ahead. Go do the debunk. I want to see it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Mark Hefferman. Let's see if you in the chat and you came up with another stat. Let's see. Did you come up with another stat, Mark? Because you said that stat that I had is wrong. You can't come up with another stat because it's the truth. You can't come up with another stat. What is the citation? What's the citation for 1%? Go do any research that you want. It'll tell you less than 1% of black people commit violent crime and they have a criminal record, period. Less than 1%. Okay? Do your own research. Yeah, this is a low IQ channel. I believe it. I'm low IQ because I'm reading your dumbass comments. Please, if you like to comment, you like the commentary, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. I have commentary like this Monday through Thursday, mostly at 10 p.m., but I've been doing different commentary during the morning and the evening, and sometimes I do it on the weekend, but mostly Monday through Thursday. I appreciate all of you guys showing up. I appreciate everything. Please like, share, and subscribe. We just like to have conversations about politics, race, life. We just have content about anything that crosses my mind. Anybody want to prove me wrong? Put it in the comment section. Less than 1% of black people commit violent crime and have a criminal record. Less than 1%. And the only stat that black people lead in when it comes to welfare and handouts is Section 8. That's the only stat we lead in. White people get the most food stamps. White people get the most cash. White people get the most WIC. White people get the most everything else except Section 8. So, I will see you guys in the next video, and I appreciate you all. I appreciate all of you guys. Yes, I do.